12,615 for a live gate. 5,189,167. 5,189,167. Fight of the night, Andre Arlovsky and Travis Brown. Performances of the night, Chris Weidman and Cormier. $15,000 for those guys. Two transports tonight, Travis Brown and John McDessie. Travis Brown is back, x-rays negative. John is still being treated. Take our first question. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, thanks. For Chris, please. Obviously, yesterday, very emotional for you on the weigh-in stage. Tonight, though, it looked like you came in and gave a little nod of respect. You guys touched gloves. Talk about that. I mean, what was the difference between yesterday and today? Was it a conscious decision to get over it, not be emotional? Was it just time pass? What was it together, Mike?
No, yeah, pretty much a conscious decision. I'm used to coming in here and competing, and I'm not going to just come in here and think it's a fist fight or a bar fight. I'm going to just try to take this guy's head off. I'm in there to compete, mentally and physically break him. So it wasn't all the emotion from the weigh-ins, which is all real. I put to the side for the fight.
And obviously, he did have a little bit of success early, had a few nice shots, and it felt like when you did pause, you kind of felt the cut as well. What was going through your head at that point? Was there any panic?
It felt like a video game when you're going against the boss, and his meter just starts dropping and dropping. That's what I was thinking. As every punch he threw, I'm like, your meter's dropping, and I'm going to keep moving forward. So eventually, I was confident. I had three-star, Clash of Clans. He knocked some of my balloons down, but I kept on going.
And
Cowboy knows what I meant. Everyone else is just laughing for no reason.
And Chris, last question for you. Obviously, the big fight out there is Madison Square Garden, December. That sounds like the dream, but it's also a long way away and it's not certain yet. So what's the play? Do you kind of wait it out and see? Because I know you'd love to be on that fight, or do you book something and say maybe you get 2 more fights in?
I'll tell you what, I'm not missing the Madison Square Garden fight, that's for sure. So that's all I really care about. I ask me about Jacare or Rockhold. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I want to fight either one of them, but at Madison Square Garden, as long as I'm in that venue, I'm a happy man. That's a dream.
What were you referencing about Vitor Belfort? You said his test levels were high. I talked to the commission. They said he passed all the pre-fight tests. So what do you know that we don't know?
When I was at the, I left him alone with this whole TRT thing. Throughout the whole thing when he cheated. He got caught cheating a couple times. I left him alone throughout the whole camp. I didn't really want to think about it. But then when I was at the media scrum, Akamoto, right? I think that's the way you say his name. Is it ESPN? Anybody know him? All right. He told me that he called up Nevada and got our test back, and that he got both my scores were like 370 and 370 both times, which is on the low side. But we're in training camp, so we're killing ourselves. And this is like from 2 weeks ago and like 4 weeks ago, so it was in the heat of the training camp. His was 500 and then 1200. So I'm like, all right, this is a guy who needed TRT his whole life, not his whole life, but for such a long time because he was suffering and he couldn't live without it. And now all of a sudden he has a 4 times the amount as me, and he's almost 10 years older. So there's something that's happening with him. I wouldn't say it if I didn't think it was messed up. So I just think it's messed up. That's all, and that's what I kind of said to him. It pissed me off. It didn't really bother me when Akamoto told me, I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'm fighting him anyway, I don't care. And then when weigh-ins came around, for some reason, I kind of got emotionally into it. And but when it came down tonight, I kind of just put it all to the side and it was a competition.
And that's what I was going to ask you. How do you do that? Because that's got to be the hard part. When your emotions go and you're angry at somebody for doing something that's maybe when you don't stick to your game plan and do what you normally would want to do. Was that difficult to kind of rein it in?
It was different. This is probably the first time I've ever had to be I was kind of emotionally pissed off. So I had to kind of put it to the side, and I wouldn't say it was difficult, but it was a thought process. This is a fight. It's just another competition, is what I thought. And you said that he passed the test, and he did, I guess. But there's I guess they do the level between epitestosterone and testosterone, and so I think that somehow the level remained normal. So anybody who knows their stuff probably can figure out something there. Okay.
And Cowboy, I wanted to ask you, you've been in so many good fights, but this was one of the best pay-per-view cards for a long time. As you kind of looked around and watched the other fights, were you saying, these guys are fighting at sort of like the Cowboy level, did it remind you of yourself? How you guys go?
It was awesome. The locker room I was in wasn't doing so well. Everyone in there was, not doing so well. So I seen my teammates, John Dotson and Andre, getting it done, so it fired me up, to come out and follow them. It was good, 3-0 for Jackson, man, but This is for you, champ. You don't drink it? I don't drink it.
Question for Chris. You had said, in the post-fight, you said, people were still doubting you. I mean, you were a pretty massive favorite. I think I told you that when I talked to you on Thursday. You're like a 5-1 favorite. Was it just a general sense of fans? Was it something in the media that you felt like people were doubting you or still doubting you as champion, or what was it?
Well, Vegas always has my back. That's why all my friends can't make that much money on me, from Anderson Silva fights all the way to now. They're always pretty smart. But no, the general public, Twitter, just in general, I feel like I've done a lot so far, beating Anderson Silva twice, and then Machida now Vitor Belfort. I think people got to start realizing something. The wise guy from Brazil. What do you got for me?
You're my friend, right? We are very, very, very sad in Brazil. Now you are the Brazilian killer, right? If I give you a list of corrupt Brazilian politicians, can you beat them for us? Can you do
There you go. Now you actually love me. All right, yeah, I got you. Let's do it.
You can do that.
I got it.
And what do you think about the next fight, be Anderson Silva and Vitor Belfort? Do you believe it's possible?
The next fight, them versus each other?
Yes.
I mean, sure.
And who do you believe will win? Vitor or Anderson Silva?
I don't know.
No?
What do you, who cares? Oh, alright. Oh no, we'll have an answer.
Okay, and what's our favorite Brazilian fighter today?
Favorite Brazilian fighter?
Jose Aldo.
Jose Aldo, yeah, he's up there. I go with Anderson Silva, I'm sticking with him. He was a big part of my career for a long time.
Okay, thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, Chris, all week long, you were very confident, talking about how you're going to finish in the first round, second round, and you pulled it off. Can you just talk about where your confidence level is now at this point in your career?
I'm confident, but I'm not overconfident. I know there's a lot of guys that want this belt, and so I'm ready to go back in the gym and keep getting better. I can't afford to start thinking that I'm just too good naturally to go in there and beat everybody without working hard. So I got to get back and start working. I have a lot of work to do.
Question for Chris Weidman. Chris, at the end of the fight, you told the remaining doubters that was their last chance to get on board with the last invitation. A lot of people would say, though, that people really became believers in you after the Lyoto-Machida fight. Had you started to feel that after the Machida victory, or do you feel like that's still something that a lot of people need to understand about you, that you're for real?
Yeah, for real. But I feel like after the Machida fight, there was a good group of people that started following, and there was believers. But then with the time off, the haters just grew stronger and stronger, so I had to come in here and do my thing again.
Once you got that mount on Vitor Belfort, you said he had caught you with a couple of good shots, but that really pretty much seemed to be the end of the fight at that point. Did you feel any resistance from him once you had that mount, or did it feel almost instantaneously like you were shutting it down?
I mean, mount's a tough position to be stuck in, so I'm not gonna. It doesn't matter who goes down there. I feel like I'm pretty good there. It's about getting there, though. It's about getting to that mount position and be able to keep it. And I credit, Matt Serra's, Sarah BJJ, Hansel Gracie's Academy, all those guys for teaching me everything I know on the ground.
One more for Chris Weidman. Evie, did you have a question?
During this week, you were saying that Anderson Silva would never beat you, and you felt the same way about Vitor and also Rocco. I just want to know, what was going through your mind in that first round, when Vitor got you for a little bit, and then when you finally got him, what was going through your mind?
Like I said, it felt almost like a video game. He's punching me, and I just felt his meter going down, and you're used to sparring with 16-ounce gloves on, so I'm kind of used to letting people punch themselves out a little bit, just covering and rolling. And then he hit me with an uppercut, and I'm like, you know what? I probably should move out of here. This is not smart. And then as soon as I got out, I felt his punches kind of get a little slower, and I was just like, he's gonna break before I break, so it was fine.
And do you stay as well? You also said that you are not going to see Brazilians in front of you for a little bit. You also think about that, for example, about Jacare, maybe? Like, do you think he's in your future?
You guys want to keep the Brazilians alive.
Yes.
I understand. And yeah, Jacare would be an amazing competition. So I know Rocco's here. Rocco, I think, I'm not the matchmaker, but I feel like Rocco will put on a better last performance than Jacare, just because of the guys he fought. But I'm not the matchmaker. All I want is a huge fight, and preferably a Madison Square Garden. That's the way I kind of foresee it.
All right, guys, so we're going to let Chris go. The remaining 3 gentlemen are actually submitting their post-fight analysis test. Thank you, commission. Thank you, champ. Congratulations.
He was there for Cowboy. He was about to get